What's going on, everybody? It's the Keymaster 84 bringing you guys today a brand new TBD. This is going to be a part 1.5 of the last one you guys heard.
A V2.
I'm not sure if I will release this on the same day or how exactly I'll go through the process of getting this. Oh, we're in one of these kinds of matches. We jumped into one of these kinds of matches. Sweet.
Yay.
But no, we had some technical difficulties, and so you know what? We're powering through them because we don't care.
Good book.
Oh Jesus! What the hell? I thought they drove away. No, he's over there. He's trying to shoot me still. These sniper guys are ridiculous. Why? I'm brand new to the game. Why are you like prioritizing me, snipers? Anyways, guys, what we're talking about today.
You walk in and they know the prowess.
Apparently, Jesus Christ. We're talking about today. So, Big Bro, he saw my video on what my opinion is on. Oh, sniper guys are gone. He saw my video on what I think about the exclusives and what I think is going to be happening with them over time. And he wanted to talk about it. Just throw in his 2 cents. It's a valuable 2 cents, I would say.
By the way, that's dated episode 17. You haven't seen it, go watch it.
It's not episode 17. We're just doing number 17 now. I'm dropped episode. I'm not doing episode same.
Okay.
I'm dropping episodes. Mainly because they're a pain. They take a lot of room. Episodes, like, you guys already know. You guys already know when I say it's a daily. When I say it's daily, you should know it's episodic at that point.
Day 17. The dose of day 17.
Oh my god. She got beamed. Gotcha, son. But yeah, guys. So I mean, people already know my opinion, buddy. What's your opinion on exclusivities? As we
I feel like it's a dying breed, man. Like you mentioned in the video, you know, again, if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. It was, let's say in the dawn of the first Xbox, first PlayStation era, exclusive games were almost a given as far as like them gonna be out every, you know, an exclusive game being out almost every month. You know what I mean? I mean that may be a little broad as far as my guesstimate there, but it almost seemed that there was almost always an exclusive game on the verge of coming out.
true.
You know,
I would definitely say that.
give or take. Yeah. So, and then, you know, you get into the 360 and the PS2, and then, you know, PS2 turns into, you know, PS3 before the end of the life of the 360. And then exclusively, you notice that exclusive games are really starting to like kind of taper off as far as, you know, what PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo were all putting out. And then, you know, Nintendo had its bad dip with its consoles, you know, going from the Wii to the Wii U, and you know, and then PC gaming really started to kind of pick up, and, you know, as many exclusive indie games there was on there, you know, like Minecraft, let's say, around the time Minecraft really hit a big boom, you know, drew a lot of players or a lot of people to PC gaming. Well, if you're like me and Keymaster, we're dedicated Xbox people. Like we are. That is our system. I don't own a PS4. Key doesn't own a PS4. It's.
I never will.
It's kind of like, no, yeah. Like one of my favorite game series happens to be an Xbox exclusive game, which is Gears of War, and Gears of War, to me, was like, oh my god, PS4, you know, PlayStation players are really missing out. Like this game is fucking amazing, and you know, I feel like every PlayStation gamer every PC gamer should try Gears of War at least once, but they have to play it on the Xbox. You know, that's how I felt. And then you look at PlayStation, they got things like God of War, Drake's Uncharted, things like that. Those are like kind of their long-standing current exclusive games, and you know they've even been tapering off. Like you don't see those every year anymore. God of War took like a freaking almost
Oh
10-year
man.
break.
Yeah,
I
God of War was
mean,
on a long hiatus.
hmm and then it's like nowadays you're looking forward into the future. You don't know of many. I mean, we're supposed to get another Halo. Don't know when.
Halo Infinite, probably 2020.
Yeah,
I'm assuming the new
supposed
Halo
to.
Infinite will come with the new consoles.
Yep,
Would be my
probably the new
assumption.
console generation. And then you look forward to like, okay, they announced another Gears of War, which is probably going to be either towards the tail end of Xbox or the new console as well. Um, and then what else is there? I mean, PlayStation hasn't announced any future coming exclusives that I know of off the top of my
I
head,
mean,
at
they have
least.
Last of Us 2. It's
Last
gonna,
of Us is this year.
that'll
That'll
be
be a
a
PS4.
huge deal.
Oh, people have been waiting for crazy for that one.
No, I mean that's a huge. I mean, Last of Us 2 is a huge deal. Um, and then what is it? Days Gone, the zombie game,
Yep, Days Gone.
is also another PlayStation exclusive. But the thing is, for me, like, and just to go more into my opinion on exclusives, is I just think they're bad. It's a bad consumer decision. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, so you're gonna tell me I have to buy your $400 console, $300 console, so I can play
Mm-hmm.
5 games? Because at the end of it, that's literally typically what it is. 'Cause it's
Yep.
typically only like, I mean, like, I can remember the ones that I always missed out on because I've been Xbox all the time, and the games I always missed out on that I always remember, like, not necessarily being upset about, but like being like, yeah, I had to miss out on that because I don't play PlayStation.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
but mine were always Little Big Planet, God of War,
Well,
and
God of War.
SOCOM.
Yep. Ooh, SOCOM's a good one.
You know, and that's like, okay, well, SOCOM's been gone for forever. SOCOM's been gone, and then God of War just came out, like we were talking about. Just came out with a brand new game this year. They hadn't had a game in forever. You know, so I mean, it's like, and like Little Big Planet. I don't even remember. I know Little Big Planet 2 came out, but I don't know what happened after that.
They got a 3.
There's a 3.
Yeah, 3 came out last year, 2017, I believe.
But it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like, and I understand the point of exclusives. I understand why they're good for the brand. But on the same at the same time, you got to think to yourself as a business. It's like, how am I gonna get loyalty to my cause if I don't have this? You know, how am I gonna? Why
Yeah,
are
but
people gonna want to play my console?
right. But on the flip side of that, what do people like? Um, people like Nintendo people, for
Mm-hmm.
instance. I mean, pretty much anybody who owns a Nintendo Switch or even then a 3DS or a Wii U for the later console, you only buy those things to play Mario games. Like, you're not buying. I mean, maybe a Switch now has kind of changed up the mentality of the common Nintendo player. But let's take the Switch out of take the Switch out of the equation, and people were only buying the Wii or the Wii U to play Mario games: Mario Party, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, the various Mario games, Mario Tennis, Mario Soccer. Even some of the spin-off games like Luigi's Adventure or Luigi's Game or Yoshi's Story. Toad even has his own story. Like your hardcore gamer, like let's say Keymaster and I, you're not gonna buy the Wii U to play Call of Duty on. You're not gonna buy the Wii U to play NBA 2K19 on. You're not gonna buy the Wii U to play, any other given
multi-plat,
gamer, like multi-plat hardcore game. You're not going to buy the Nintendo console to play those things. Now that we do have the Switch, things have kind of switched courses. So now you almost have the ability to pretty much game anywhere that there's a Wi-Fi connection, and you can play games like NBA 2K19, other games like they just did Diablo 3, soon to be Skyrim. All these major online multi-platform games can now be played completely mobily, and that's a huge seller for a lot of gamers. And had Nintendo not made that switch, I could safely say that their brand would have died at the Wii U.
You think
had the Switch not been as successful as it is, I think Wii U would have been your last thought of Nintendo. And I like the Wii U, but that's because I'm a Nintendo guy. Like, I like Mario and Bowser versus is probably the biggest rivalry in my gaming brain. Other people will be like, the Arbiter, Master Chief, or whomever. Kratos versus Zeus in the first God of War, whatever. But to me, Mario versus Bowser is going to be always all-time top gaming rivalry ever.
For sure, 100%.
And so, like I said, going back to what I said about the Switch, had Nintendo not brought the Switch out and introduced it to the world, they would have been dead, man. I mean, it sucks, but again, that game console also includes all those Nintendo exclusives. That Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is probably one of the biggest games of 2018.
Oh, easy.
Hands down. Do you know what month it came out? December 2nd. December 2nd was its release, and it would probably go down in history as one of the top games of 2018. And it only had a month of playability before the year closed out.
Right.
So, I mean, that's how big the game is. That's how huge it is. And for those of you who've never had the opportunity of playing a game such as Super Smash Brothers on GameCube, which is where it got really big, but on any other console,
that big old purple box. Love the thing.
You know what I mean? Like, it was on 64. That was the first Smash. But GameCube is really kind of where it hit its stride, and now you got the Ultimate Edition, which now can be played mobily. In my personal experience, I have coworkers that own it, that I can literally grab my Switch, go to another branch of my job, and have two other guys to play with right there, and all I have to do is set up my screen and pull out my Joy-Cons. That's it. That's all I got to do.
Yeah, the accessibility factor.
Password? Boom, I'm in. You know what I mean? Boom,
yeah.
right there.
Yeah, I mean, the accessibility factor is killer, especially with the Switch now. I mean, there's no excuse not to be able to play a game anymore with that console.
Mine literally comes with me everywhere. If I leave the house, it's in my backpack. My backpack comes with me every time I leave the house.
Yeah.
So, literally, if I find myself with some downtime, like I'm waiting for a friend or, whatever, I happen to be, whatever it is, whatever the situation is, find myself with a Wi-Fi. I don't even have to have Wi-Fi. I have games on my Switch that I can play that don't need the internet. So, like, for instance, I just picked up, I forgot to tell you, I just picked up RBI 2018 on mad sale. Got it for $20.
Nice.
And I was like, you know what? I got to pick up that game. You know why? I'm a big fan of baseball games.
Oh,
Me and
yes.
Keymaster both love baseball games, and I'm like, there's no exclusive baseball titles anymore except for RBI baseball, and
The
we're
show.
like, I wasn't gonna pay $60 for it. I'm not gonna lie, I was not gonna pay $60 for it, but it was on sale for $20, and I'm only getting the 2018 rosters, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
to have a game on the fly that I could be like, boom, let's just jump into an exhibition game and see what happens, or have a franchise that I could play a 10-season franchise, and it's like to have if I don't have internet, perfect. Like it's gonna be and then also I carry everything with me in one little case. All my games, if they're not digitally downloaded, I mean literally the cartridges are as big as SD cards. So like literally
So
in my
crazy.
case I have 2 cases. Yeah, my case I have 2 cases I can carry up to 8 cartridges in. Not to mention that most of my games are digitally downloaded. And then on top of that, it's like you can do your extra grips, you can do whatever in these little cases, and it fits in just this little 12 by whatever 6 case.
Gotcha.
And it's like, boom, I got everything I need to multiple game and play some of the biggest titles that are out right now.
Yeah, and so I guess my question to you, so in my video I talk about the fact that like the reason we have exclusives now is because it costs a lot of money to make these games. It costs, just to make the game we're playing right now, it costs hundreds of millions of dollars to make. Everybody knows that.
They made that back day one.
That's not new information. But to help offset the costs, PlayStation will say, well, because they don't get any of it. And, you spend $250 million making a game, you don't see any of that money until you sell the game.
Right.
That's how gaming works.
So it's printed.
Until someone buys it, you get paid nothing. That's how the gaming industry works. And so to offset some of the costs, because not everybody's in Activision where they can just be like, oh yeah, salary for 45 people or 450 people, yeah, sure, whatever, that's no big deal.
Whatever, I got you.
Not very few companies, even even bigger companies have that kind of a ability to make that happen. And so, how do you think they'll offset costs once the exclusives start going away? Because we're already starting to see it. I mean, you're talking about, just take a look at Call of Duty, Black Ops 4 here. So traditionally, over the past few years, Call of Duty has always been on PlayStation for several months before it comes to Xbox. Or not months, but it's usually about a 30-day preliminary period on PlayStation, and then comes to Xbox. This year they decided it's 1 week. Now, granted, I don't know if Activision had to pay some money back, or that's
Right.
lawyers'
Whatever the
business.
situation
Who I don't really care personally. That's lawyer business. But at the end of the day, that costs them money. Probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, to make that decision.
Oh, easily.
And so, how do you think they're gonna offset some of these costs going into the future?
Without exclusives?
Well, without like
Ugh.
timed exclusives or game, we're only gonna be on the Xbox, or we're only gonna do this thing, or we're gonna be on this widget for 6 months before we go on anything else, or whatever the situation may be.
That's really hard to pinpoint, because without, well, I don't know. It's kind of a give or take if you think about it. So, taking Call of Duty as our specific example right now. If, let's say, Activision decided to finally end their exclusive content deal with PlayStation, and everything was an equal board, so everybody gets it at the time of release, everybody gets blah blah blah, whatever. Everybody gets the DLCs on the same time. Nobody gets any special treatment as far as time with the game or anything like that. You don't get to play the beta for an extra week because you're a PlayStation member, like whatever it is, whatever the perks were of being that exclusive title to PlayStation, or having the whatever it was called, the data exclusivity or whatever it was, because it's not being an exclusive title because technically you're being played on multi-platform, but it's PlayStation was getting everything a couple weeks ahead of time or a month ahead of time or whatever it was. Well, if you think about it, it may increase your sales because Xbox owners or PC owners aren't going to have the time to sit and think and be like, okay, well, PlayStation's had this for a month. This is all the crap that's been talked about it. Okay, I might not pick up this DLC. You know what I mean? So, I mean, now that, Black Ops 4 is a bad example because you have to buy one pack that gives you everything. But, for, the older games where you could buy the DLC pack for $15 or $20 or whatever it was and get your couple maps and your couple zombie or whatever, and how many DLCs did we not buy because we heard they were crap or that they were just full of zombies and we didn't playing zombies at the time, you know what I mean? In our Call of Duty history, we probably saved ourselves hundreds and hundreds of dollars each by not purchasing certain DLCs because we heard about how crappy it was from all the PlayStation users who had it a month before we did. So
yeah, I mean, and not even that. I mean, not even that. It's on top of things like that. I mean, you have stuff like, oh well, this game, like this DLC was done by Studio Alpha. It wasn't that great, but it's just like, I don't know, with exclusives, I always feel like no matter which way you take them, you're always dividing your audience. Like look at Destiny, for example. I mean, Destiny's exclusivity period is 1 year. 1 year.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, they don't do that on DLCs. I mean, everybody gets the DLCs at the same time, but as far as like the new weapons, which in that game, that is that game. New weapons are what drives that game. New loot, and so it's just like, how do you lock that behind a DLC wall? How do you go about locking this thing that makes this game what it is behind a DLC wall? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? It doesn't. Why would you do that? And well, because we get this deal, and they pay us a bunch of money. Well, they pay Activision a bunch of money. They don't pay Bungie, but they don't pay Bungie a bunch of money. They pay Activision a bunch of money to have this deal. And like I said in the video, and like you said when we started this, back when the Xbox was trying to become a thing, was that important? Hell yeah, it was drastically important. But that's because the Xbox was fighting to be relevant. It's not like it is now, where the Xbox and the PlayStation.
Up a 30-year relationship with your customers.
Exactly, so it's totally different now, and I mean, I don't know if we want to get into it now, but I think with the coming next gen consoles, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, we're getting next gen consoles in 2020. I'm sorry, I mean, Phil Spencer was at CES, he was on the AMD floor, he talked about the next consoles. He's been talking about the next consoles since the last E3. So this is not new information. In fact, I'd actually say it's kind of old information, to be honest with you. And so, I mean, it's coming, and I really do think that things like this deal that PlayStation made with Verizon, and Microsoft can make with T-Mobile or AT&T, I see deals like that replacing the traditional exclusives. I can see them becoming more like oh well, if you already have a T-Mobile contract, you get Xbox Live free for a year. You know, things
Right.
like that. I can see becoming a much bigger deal down the road than almost any other form of that. Personally, just because that's what they do. That's what those companies do. I mean, you know, like the Pixel? That's the one that's Verizon only, right?
The Pixel? Yeah, Google Pixel. Yep.
Yeah, that's Verizon only. You know, let them say, oh well, you know, Xbox Live is exclusive 2-year arrangement. You know, you're as long as your contract, you get to have Xbox Live. You know, or whatever it may be, whatever crazy deal they want to bundle in with their cell phone. You know, but make them pay for that. You know, don't
Absolutely.
punish us. And I think the reason we are going to see that is because, you know, T-Mobile, I mean, the games industry is already kind of, in my opinion, everybody's pretty much the same. What does separate them right now is the exclusives that we've been talking about, the few that are out there. I mean, you're talking typically first-party developer, maybe like an Activision or a Destiny, which is still active. Well, not anymore, but used to be Activision. I mean, you're talking about games where it's like, they're huge games, and it's just not fair at the consumer level to be like, well, you can't play our game because you have the wrong $400 console. Because that's literally what they're saying. They're saying, hey, yeah, you bought the wrong piece of plastic, so you can't play their game. Sorry. Like, and how much does that suck? How fair is that? But, I mean, I do think exclusives are a dying breed, especially console exclusives. I think definitely within the next few years. I mean, you're going to see it. I mean, because, and I have briefly touched on this. I haven't done a full in-depth video on it, but my opinion is Xbox is going to go to is going to be pushing their Play Anywhere initiative.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, Microsoft is a gigantic corporation that wants to make a ton of money. That's what they want to do.
That's everybody's end goal, is make a ton of money.
You know, I mean, there's a reason Microsoft just bought 8 studios in the last year. Well, they bought 7, made an 8th. You know, people don't realize that. Like, they straight bought 7 studios. Now, granted, none of these studios were like an Activision or a Blizzard or someone of that nature, or an EA. You know, they were all smaller studios, but you're talking about buying an entire company. I don't care how big they are. It doesn't matter at that point. You're talking millions of dollars, and they bought a bunch of them. And then, like, the one that they made, the people that they're picking up are people who are really good at it, who are like the top tier people in the industry. It's not just some run of the mill studio. I mean, they're calling it the first quadruple A game studio. They're not messing around. You know what I mean? So it's a huge deal. And I think that, you know, as we get closer into that, because Microsoft's initiatives, they want to reach 2 billion gamers. There's only, and even if Xbox were to buy PlayStation, even if they were to buy Nintendo, they still would not reach 2 billion gamers. There's only one way to do it, and that's to break down the walls. No more exclusives. I mean, I think they learned, like, hey, we make a lot of money from Minecraft. We make a ridiculous amount of money from Minecraft. Because you want to know why? Everybody's bought that game. Everybody. Most people have bought more than one copy on more than one device. But they learned, hey, if we make something that everybody wants and release it on everything, we can make a stupid amount of money. You know, and I think that's where we're going to see everything going in the future.
Absolutely. No, man. I mean,
Sorry, I totally went out there.
Well, it's all good. No, I 100% agree. I caught a lot of information I didn't even know about yet. So, You know, I think that if that's the way it's going, then that's the way it's going. You mean you can't really stop it. I mean, it's always going to progress and change. There's always going to be, no matter what industry you're in, what your genre may be. You're always going to have change. So.
No, totally. But you got any other pearls of wisdom, my friend?
I don't think so. I think that I wish that one behind the fountain on the other side. I think that. Oh damn. Yeah, like I was just saying in my last statement, I feel like everything's always going to be moving forward, and people are always going to find new ways to make money, or streamline this, or minimize that, or polish this, or do this, or do that. So I think that it's just the nature of the beast, and just unfortunately, it's the day and age we live in. So it's just where it's at, and we just got to keep our heads above water and keep gaming, keep grinding, and it'll work out for us. And I don't foresee any change in the way that I game or what I may do within the space, changing at all. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not leaving Xbox. No offense to anybody, but
yeah. I mean, I own a Switch. I love my Switch. I play my Switch quite a bit, but it doesn't keep me from owning an Xbox over a PlayStation.
yeah. So, but yeah. Anyways, guys, I mean, keep on playing the games you guys want to play. Especially, I mean, I'm never gonna tell anybody that Xbox is better than PlayStation, because I think that honestly, it just really comes down to the games you want and where your friends are playing. I mean, honestly, that's what most people are basing their decision on, anyways. Do my friends play on Xbox, or do my friends play on PlayStation? That's really where the ultimate decision comes down from. But yeah, anyways, guys, so thanks for tuning in for our episode 1.5 of TBD on the new channel here. Finally got one recorded. I'm super excited about it. Just ridiculous. Our luck is we were talking about our luck on recording TBDs, and it's just like, have we ever had this much bad luck recording one thing ever? And yeah, it's been pretty bad. We've been pretty just like dumbfounded on the amount of bad luck.
Internet glitches and
audio not
software
recording.
Malfunctions. And, we've had the gambit happen to us over the last few weeks.
Oh, 100%. But we will keep on going, guys. Don't even worry about that. Obviously, we know daily dose is going to be happening every day. And yeah, guys. So yeah. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. This has been the Keymaster 84 and Big Row 206. And until next time, guys. We play games to make gains. Haters are gonna hate. And we'll see you guys next video.
Peace.